Okay.
Because it's outside of a union, a bargaining.
Myself in the list of room one. Am I in the right? You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm not sure what that means then.
Okay, we're live again.
Okay. So we're out of executive session at 8:39. Mike, you have a motion?
Sure, I've got a few of them. Okay. Motion to authorize the Board of Education Chair Deb Sherman to sign new contracts for the maintenance technician as discussed in executive session.
I'll second.
Okay. Bobby?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
I didn't call it yet, Vic. Hold on.
We're not doing the discussion. I realize.
I didn't get there yet. Hold on. So can we just do one more time? All in favor, please?
No, I thought it was
Aye.
discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Just go ahead, Shelley. Discussion.
I have to think how this phrases. I'm concerned about a large increase in the impact on our budget.
Anybody else for discussion? All in favor?
No, wait.
Vic?
After you do all in favor, you're gonna go with people that aren't in favor? Just so I
Yes,
can,
Vic.
okay,
Yeah.
very good. I got it. Okay, go ahead.
So this
One
is
more
in
time.
favor of the first one,
The first one. That was a
Maintenance?
COO?
Maintenance
No.
technician.
Maintenance.
maintenance technician. Okay.
Yeah.
Aye.
One more time. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Abstain.
oppose.
You oppose. Shelley? Abstain? Motion carries. Second, Mike, please.
Okay. Motion to authorize Board of Education Chair Deb Sherman to sign new contract for the Chief Operating Officer as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Who is that, Vinny?
Hey, Bri, could you give me the cord for the computer?
Just discussion?
I just wanted to repeat the same comment that, I'm concerned about any very large increases impact on, our budget.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain.
I oppose.
Abstain?
Opposed. Did you get my opposed?
You're opposed, yeah. All in, motion carries.
Okay, the third motion to authorize Board of Education Chair Deb Sherman to sign new contracts for the Assistant Superintendent for Student and Staff Support as discussed in executive session.
Wait, I thought that wasn't the motion. We have to, vote for the position to be added. Not, right? First, we're voting for the position to be added before we,
Deb,
talk
what's
about,
your assessment?
It
Is
should
there a
be,
first motion to add and then the second one to do contract negotiation?
yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Great.
well, first we would add the position, then it would need to be posted.
Shelley,
And
you're
then
breaking up,
after
Shelley.
that, then we would, I'm sorry, I just want to finish the sentence. I feel like someone.
We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm saying that first we would have a motion as to whether or not to add the position. If the motion passes, then we would have to post the position. Then all people could apply and interview and all of that. And then there would be negotiations on the part of the chair for the contract from there.
Is that the way it goes for, is this a non-union position or is this a union position?
It's a
The non-union position.
So do we have to open it up to everybody?
No.
Not according to council, we don't.
Well,
So let's do,
Do we care?
I
mean,
think we've always done.
should we?
We've always
guess.
posted it, but
so we're gonna make a motion to add first, please.
Would you like me to withdraw the first motion to be able to make the
Sure.
second motion?
Sure, withdraw it.
Make a motion to withdraw my last motion about signing new contracts for the assistant superintendent.
Second.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. All in
Okay.
favor? Wait, hold on, we
Aye.
do vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain?
I'm
Motion,
opposed. Wait, is that just to? hold
This
my
is to
back?
remove the motion.
just to do the
Okay,
withdrawal
sorry,
of the
I'm in
motion.
favor. Okay, it was breaking up. I apologize.
Go ahead, Mike.
But, before anyone seconds it, make sure I get this one correct. I'd like to motion to authorize the addition of a new position, the Assistant Superintendent for Student and Staff Support, as discussed in executive session.
Correct. Someone
Okay.
needs to second it.
I'll
Second.
second.
Beat you, Nicole.
Any discussion?
I would favor this position, but then I think we need to relook at the other two positions that we're adding because they seem to me that they overlap.
Anybody else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I oppose.
Abstain? Motion carries.
Okay, do I get the additional one about signing contracts, negotiating contracts for this position, or is that not yet?
Oh, Shelley says she opposes. Her Zoom is frozen on the last vote. Vinny? I say we go for it. We had opinion from council that we could do it, so.
Excellent. Okay, so I make a new motion to authorize Board of Education Chair Deb Sherman to sign new contracts for the Assistant Superintendent for Student and Staff Support as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Oppose.
Abstain?
I abstain.
Motion carries. Okay, on to the next.
Thank you. Vote.
Thank you.
Shelley did not vote. Her Zoom is frozen, so she voted for the last one. I didn't get a vote for this one.
Probably the same.
Okay, report of the superintendent.
I'm going to be rather brief because of the lateness of the hour now. Just give me 1 second to put my notes up. First of all, foremost, I want to thank the board for the appreciation, recognition for our staff based on the conversation we just had. Recognizing and supporting hardworking individuals like we just did is a way to promote retention of high quality staff. And I appreciate all you just did now. So thank you so much. In the spirit of thank yous, our custodians typically work behind the scenes and often are not thanked by staff and the general public because we don't always see them. But on days like this, like a snow day when they're coming in, driving through almost a foot of snow, clearing sidewalks of heavy wet snow so that we can open school on time the next day. They did it and it was done before dinner time tonight and the schools are ready for tomorrow. So I want to thank all of our custodians for all their hard work, not only every single day that they do the work for us behind the scenes, but especially on days like today. So a shout out to all of our custodians that did all their work today. If for those of you that were able to make it to our middle school musical a week and a half ago, our students did a phenomenal job. It was so exciting to see the large number of students that participated. It was so large that the cast was even split across the shows to give more students an opportunity to shine. So it was a wonderful showing, and I think it's a great pathway into promoting what we're going to be doing in the high school when these students move up to the 9th grade. So it's exciting to see the number of students that were involved in the process, and they did a great job. I addressed the snow just a few minutes ago. This was our third snow day for the year. That means that our last day of school is now scheduled for June 11th. We'll cross our fingers that that's it. But you never know what's going to happen with the winter time coming up. And then reminder that Friday is an early release day. So all staff will engage in professional learning and in various different things that they have been planned with through PDAC, ranging from science and reading to the evaluation to work that they are engaged in at the department level. And then just a reminder that this weekend is a long extended weekend. All schools and offices are closed for the holiday on Monday, and all schools for staff, teachers, parents, students are closed on Tuesday. So it's a 4-day weekend for students and staff this weekend. At our next Board of Education meeting, we're going to be returning to the next attribute of the graduate presentation. The high school and the middle school will be presenting about the collaborative learner. And they will also be presenting their mid-year report to the Board of Education that night. And then the first meeting in March, it will be Great Oak and Quaker Farms that will be doing the same presentation to the board. So that is my presentation for you tonight. Thanks. Try to be
Okay.
short and sweet there.
Thank you very much. The only thing I have to say is, I met with Dr. Miller and the OEA president recently. It's to start our dialogue based on the new union contract with their consultation. Had a great conversation, and I thank the union for their dedication to our kids. And I really think that we had a great discussion on the needs of the kids and the staff. And I think a lot of the things that we talked about tonight and in our budget go directly to what our staff is really looking for. So hopefully we'll be able to keep some of those in the budget. And that's all I have. Facilities, Mike?
Sure. Our next facility meeting will be before the next Board of Education meeting at 5:30 on the 27th. So I believe that's going to be in person at the central office.
Perfect. Curriculum, the only other update I will give you is at the next board meeting, we will have curriculum staff, and we're also going to be talking about a program that we heard about last night at the board meetings, at the curriculum meeting. So those will be brought to the next board meeting. Policy, Nicole?
I'm sorry, real quick. Mike, did you say February 11th? What day was that?
It was
27.
the 27th.
Okay, 27. Thank you.
Nicole?
So policy, we have one policy to discuss tonight. It's the use of private technology devices by students. As you may recall, on January 9th, 2024, the full board discussed adopting a new version of the policy, which largely mirrors one that we already have on the books. The main changes were that it would update the devices listed to more up-to-date things, such as taking out references to like Blackberries and word processors. It's less restrictive in limiting where devices can be used, such as there's no longer a prohibition in using it during lunchtime or passing time or bathrooms. And it also addressed the issue of artificial intelligence. When the issue came to the full board, there were concerns expressed about a paragraph dealing with search of privately owned technological devices, and accordingly, the policy was not approved. The policy was tabled so that we could take it up at the policy committee to revisit the language of that policy. We recognize the need to retain some form of this policy so that teachers and administrators have guidance on how to handle cell phone and private device usage by students while balancing the rights of the students. So the wording of this policy has been reworked to make it clear that a search of a student's privately owned device may occur without parental or legal guardian's permission only if 3 criteria are met. The most important being that there's an imminent safety threat to the student population. If all 3 requirements are not met, the administrator must contact the student's parents or legal guardian for permission before a search of the confiscated device may occur. The policy includes safeguards that are put in place in the event that there is a search of the confiscated technological device.
Discussion. This is a second read, correct?
Yes.
No discussion?
Nothing changed, in my stance, on this policy.
Yeah, me as well.
I'm not for the, search and seizure kind of, however it's adjusted. I'm not in favor of this policy.
Yeah, same thing with me. My opinion hasn't changed. Just to give you like, without mentioning which child it was, I have had a phone searched by police by one of my children, or that was one of my children's, and I had to be present in order for that to happen. And frankly, I would never condone a search of anything other than school property, or board property, other than if there's probable cause by a police officer to do so. I'm just, that's just where I kind of draw the line in the sand.
So, Bobby, do you have wording that would make this?
No, I would
work
just take it
for you?
out. I would just
So
take
the
it out.
search. Okay, the search.
Yeah. Like you follow guidelines of search and seizure by law enforcement. Don't get me wrong. I understand the ramifications of what I'm saying. I understand that there could be potential for people to stop a possible threat. I get all of that. And you're talking to the security guy. Okay. But at my heart, in my heart, I am a strict constructionist. I believe in the Constitution as it was written. And there isn't much more that I would add to it, to be quite honest with you.
So you would be comfortable with,
I do want to kind of bring forward the conversation that we had with our policy attorney as far back as May of 2022 when this policy first came up the first time. What she told us at the time was that this permission to do this search is also in our search and seizure policy. So this is not the only location where we have the ability to do this type of search. There would be dangers in removing the provision. We would need to prohibit us to search cell phones specifically and specifically word that in that case. We have the responsibility to conduct a reasonable search, that scope and in reason, to find a violation. Removing the paragraph does not restrict us from the ability to do this type of search. It is governed by case law. TLC is an example that the Supreme Court, this was ruled through the Supreme Court that school districts have the ability to conduct a reasonable search. And the statements in this policy do reflect what our constitutional rights are for this type of search. What we've done here is add additional parameters around protecting the individual, protecting the student, as well as protecting the district. When we would do the search, we've actually taken an additional layer there. But this is protected by constitutional law.
we had this similar discussion when we passed the policy last year. And several of us were not in favor of it last time. Do you guys feel you want to table it and have policy take another shot? Or if we vote for it and it goes down, on the policy that would stay in place that's already there?
Deb, if I could just chime in here.
Yeah, please.
This was our extra shot. I really don't know what other language I could put in here that would make everybody happy. I mean, at this point in time, we're trying to balance what legal counsel is recommending, that we need this policy, but also including the safeguards of this is how you're going to be protected. And a search would only happen if there was imminent harm, or a search would only happen without parental or legal guardian's permission, and only if there was imminent harm. if there's not imminent harm, we can wait until we have the parents are there and are part of the discussion about what happens next. So I don't know what other language to add as far
Okay.
as safeguards to balance the competing interests here.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say? Ryan, I know you want to say something, but you can't. I'm sorry. Anybody else? Okay, let's do a motion.
This is the second read, so this would be a motion to adopt the use of private technology devices by students as put forward.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oppose.
Opposed.
Me. Abstain?
I abstain.
So the motion fails. The policy that remains is on the boards now stays as the board policy until we look at it again. Okay.
That's kind of like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
thank you, Nicole, for working on that. I'm dead serious about that. I know you worked very hard.
You
I
did.
know you worked very hard, and honestly, the addition, you had me thinking.
Okay.
It was a little bit better. It just didn't quite get us to where I think some of us wanted to be. So
And just to be clear, Nicole, that the existing policy that this did not take out has heavier language than this, correct?
The existing policy has less protections for
That's what I mean, heavier language.
for the concerns that the board has put forward. So I'd honestly be better off with what was
Better
just
off with this one
proposed
now.
versus what's on the books right now.
So just, Deb, am I allowed to speak hypothetically, even though the motion's done or not?
yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
So theoretically, the next, if this is not gonna go, the next policy would be X this section theoretically.
Yes, you could come back. Okay. Finance. I think we've done most of the finance stuff already.
Yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a meeting next week, date and time TBD, to continue to refine, look at numbers, ask more questions. So it is an iterative, longer term process each year. So feel free again to reach out or ask questions or join the meeting.
Okay. Liaison reports. I can tell you there's a PTO meeting on Thursday. Sue, do you have any update from Booster Club?
Yeah, the goodie bags for midterms were all handed out, and hopefully all the kids found them in their lockers, because most kids, I guess, don't even realize they have lockers. We have our bingo set for St. Patrick's Day, March 14th. We're going to be doing it at the Riverside Fire Department this year. So if you want to sign up to play bingo, all the proceeds will go to our scholarship fund. And we had also had a discussion about a mural from Ben's Bell. I don't know if Dr. Miller was going to put something together to approach the board, or if he wants me to do it, but we were discussing having it put in the high school, but making it a community-wide event. We were looking at a tree that they do, and then putting all of the schools off the branches of the schools. And we were looking at ways to raise funds for this. So that's where we're at.
And I absolutely love the idea. If this would be a donation, it would be something that is hung in the school. So the value of this exceeds the Board of Education policy on donations. So the proposal would come to the board to accept it once it's ready to be accepted as a gift.
Sounds good. Bring it to us.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any questions for Sue? Okay. Next motion, Mike, or somebody. It's in our packet.
Make a motion to end the meeting.
Nope. Enter
Is that
into
the-
executive.
Oh, sorry, I didn't scroll far enough. I was like, I guess I can motion.
We have one more
Almost.
topic.
Motion to enter into executive session to discuss the superintendent's mid-year evaluation, inviting Superintendent Dr. Miller.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. We're in executive